rather quiet quit or quiet fire someone?
I think I would rather quiet quit. I think we talked about it before that if you quiet fire, that's like saying like, would you rather push somebody or murder them? You'd be a psycho if you want to fire people.
No, I don't think. But quiet firing specifically, you would be a sociopath.
Yeah, because that would mean that you are purposely trying to push someone to the edge.
Of tomorrow.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, duckies?
I'm Nicky Trendz.
I'm Manny Oso.
And you're listening to your favorite 15-minute podcast, Bubble Bath Stories.
That's right.
I'm really excited for this one.
Well, you're excited for all of them.
I know. What's the big deal? Aren't you supposed to love what you do?
Definitely. And if you don't, then
you should
show
quiet
that.
quit.
Yeah.
You should quiet quit.
Which is what the subject is today, guys.
Okay, so quiet quit is a new term that came about in like the last month. I feel like I've heard about it so much.
Yeah, apparently it's been around for a while actually, but yeah, it's getting a lot of buzz right now, mainly through TikTok apparently.
Oh, because
everything's through TikTok. That's the news source now, right?
So if you don't know what quiet quitting is when you yourself have decided, I am not going to do any more or any less for this job. I'm going to create boundaries. This is strictly paying my bills, and when I go home, I'm happy, free, and light.
That's work. That's work, basically. I've decided to just do what I get paid for.
I do feel like there has been a recent rise of people like deciding this 24/7 hustle life does not bring you maybe the complete happiness that some people hope for. And
I think the other part of the issue too is that there's been an ingraining in our mindset about how like if you're not doing the extra work, then you're not doing work at all. You know,
if you sleep more than 4 hours, you're not going to be successful.
You shouldn't have any kind of complaints about your work situation. You should always be okay to do overtime. It's just, I think what it is too is that people are just definitely frustrated with the way the situation is as far as the people at top aren't doing that much work, which most of them are like working from home now. People at the bottom are still in the same situations, working in dangerous situations, didn't get to go home for COVID, had to take that home with them.
So you think the reason that it's on such a rise is like people are clocking in and checking and they see that nobody else is working maybe as hard as them, so why should they do it?
No, I think it's more that people are coming in and seeing that they're not being set up for a successful day. So, I mean, I'll give you an example. I'm currently quiet quitting at work.
You've been quiet quitting since you got the job?
Yeah. So one of the passive aggressive things I do is I clock in 10 minutes early, like they want us to, but I take 10 minutes to get dressed and put my uniform on and get ready and, set myself up. Because the way I'm seeing it is, what does it matter if I start early anyways? There's nothing ready to start the day. Yeah. It's going to take you guys an extra 20 minutes after the start time.
Then do you clock out 10 minutes later?
Oh, no. I'm going to get paid for every hour.
Amen.
Yes.
And it's also important to know, quiet quitting does not mean you've quit your job.
Not at all.
You are just setting boundaries for what work-life is. Like, you're really looking for this work-life balance.
I think it's also setting boundaries on expectations. So if you're being asked to do 10 times work with taking 10 times away of resources, I think one of the main things too is like, well, I'm going to give you what I can give you with what you've given me. There's no promotions involved, so why am I doing extra work?
Right. So I don't know if I've quiet quit. I feel like after 2 weeks into a job, I've already decided I'm not going to do too much. Yeah. But this is what I came to the conclusion. Okay. I work in a high stressful job. It's high stressful for no fucking reason. Yeah. But it is. And
because you guys are on a time crunch.
All the time for no reason. And it affects my daily life. But I decided I can live in being pissed off and angry and all of that all the time.
Yeah.
Which only affects me, by the way. It doesn't affect anybody else. Or I could just be like, that's above my pay grade, so I'm not gonna give that energy.
That's definitely a buzzword. That buzz sentence. That's above my pay grade.
Yeah, I feel like quiet quitting is the new. That's above my pay grade.
Definitely.
Because there are just situations I don't get paid enough for to deal with.
Yeah.
So certain attitudes, certain like requests, certain. That's above my pay grade.
I think it's also a call out on what you expect from people above you too. You know, I think it's a call out on what you what's it called? When people expect you to do certain jobs. Oh man, I can't.
Like expectations of it.
Yeah. Well, so basically, like if it's definitely a person's job who's supposed to be supervising over everyone.
Yeah. And
they're asking you to help them make their job easier by doing some of their work.
Oh, but that's above my pay grade.
Oh, exactly.
That's above my pay grade.
It's like, so we have...
But here's the thing, though. That's a weird fine line, because if you do want to move up, if you are, like, at the company
But the positions
that you
have
love,
to be there.
Yeah.
That's where I think people are quiet quitting, where they have now found out the higher position's not there.
But... Here, okay, playing hater's advocate.
Yeah.
If your supervisor is like, hey, I need your help.
Yeah.
It's kind of a win for you too, because now you're gaining the experience of that position.
Yeah.
So that when you loudly quit, you now have the experience and the ability to do that job maybe somewhere else.
Okay.
So, I think it really just depends on the environment.
Okay.
Because if you work in a toxic ass environment where everybody's dumping it, they're like, oh my god, you're so good at your job. As a reward, we're gonna give you more work and less pay.
Oh yeah.
That is definitely a sign to step the fuck back.
I've heard don't be great at a job you don't like.
Ooh, yeah.
You know.
Now, people were talking about quiet quitting.
Yeah.
And some fucking manager with a blog was like, quiet firing. That'll show them.
So this definitely, I think, is something, a new word that came around. Because when I did hear about this, I just thought like, oh wow, this is just somebody trying to get one over on everyone.
So I read about this, and there's actually signs to look for to know if your manager
quietly firing you.
When I read this, I have to tell you, I was like,
this is so sociopathic.
And it's so high school.
Mm-hmm.
What it is. So let me find it, because I'm really bad at finding things. Sorry, guys. Scissors. Okay, here you go. I want you to listen to this, and I want you to decide if your boss and or supervisor or anyone in your life is doing this to you.
Yeah, okay.
You ready? Oh, we can play this with you. Okay. Your favorite projects are being reassigned.
Okay.
That hasn't happened to you.
That's not really happening to me.
Okay.
But okay.
You are consistently given the worst task.
I can see that happening to me.
Your workload increases to an unmanageable level.
Well, that's where the quiet quitting comes around.
That's like what came first, the chicken or the egg kind of thing?
I don't do file forms F.
Okay, you are suddenly left out of the loop. So that means meetings, conversations. Yeah. Damn.
I can understand things like that.
Your boss avoids you.
Yes.
Wait, your bosses avoid you?
I think my bosses avoid me sometimes.
Do you think it's quiet firing, or they just don't want to hear your complaints?
I think they don't want to hear the complaints.
Alright, well that's different.
I got legit grievances.
Your job title or description changes.
Okay, I've read about that happening. So go on.
Okay. You are asked to start documenting everything. That means emails, when you're talking to them, follow-up emails, everything that you talk about in a meeting needs to be on an email.
Haven't you been asked to do that? Go on.
Let me tell you, I definitely been quiet fired, okay? Because some of this has resonated with me. Your manager sabotages your career growth, and that is when you loudly quit.
That's when you should definitely quit.
Because someone is fucking with your monies. Your boss never gives you positive feedback.
No, I get positive feedback. That's the funny thing. I'm very well liked, so that's why they're like, why are you quitting?
You receive poor performance reviews without any apparent reason. I don't know how that works. That's it. Those are the signs.
That's how you know if you're being quietly fired.
And you know what the whole point of that is?
What?
Is to like fucking break you down so you want to quit.
But I mean, there's some like extreme.
But isn't that like psycho?
That is psychotic.
That's
but what I'm saying though is on the other side of the coin, there are some extreme examples of quiet quitting. Of
like what?
Okay, so like you have jobs in an office that nobody is assigned to. We talked about this before during imposter syndrome. That you have jobs that nobody's assigned to, but the job has to get done so that everybody can get through with their day.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So you got people who will sit there and won't turn on the office lights until the manager comes and turns everything on.
What? You've heard of people doing that?
I mean, this is what some people do. These are the extreme quiet quitting. Like, I'm clocked in and I'm sitting here until you start everything.
What's the most extreme?
Then you got, you could actually go to a restaurant sometimes and you'll see people standing in there waiting for the manager to open the doors.
What has been the most extreme quiet quitting thing you've done?
I would say answering the phone and sending it directly every single call to the manager. Because the way I saw it at the time is if you're calling, you got an issue, and I'm not going to be able to solve it.
Right, you're just the middleman.
I've decided I'm not solving this issue.
You're just the middleman, and you're going to tell them to go to the manager, so you're just taking yourself out.
So I'm just like, you know what?
Oh my God.
Forward. What about you?
You're gonna laugh. The most extreme form of quiet quitting I did was when I went to Florida and stayed an extra day.
Stayed an extra day.
I stayed an extra day.
Okay.
In Florida when I was supposed to be at work.
Oh yeah.
And I have it on good intel that nobody fucking noticed that I was gone until like the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then I got in trouble, obviously. And then I was asked, what is it that you even do here? I got it on recording somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah. You remember that.
What does he even do here? They said.
Yeah, what do you even do here? Bitch. Yeah.
I think one of the most extreme examples of quiet quitting is what they call pooping on the clock.
Oh, I love pooping on the clock.
Yes.
Listen.
Because a dumb man waits till he gets home.
No.
A smart man does it on the clock.
Listen, my health is my priority. I'm not going to hold in my poop.
I know some people who go and pick up lunch on the clock and clock out when they get to work with
that
their
makes
food.
Sense because I'm losing time.
Yeah.
I'm losing part of my lunch break trying to look for a place to eat.
Definitely. I think it's messed up though. Like there's some things push us to this though, you know?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So like some people might laugh at that, but are we laughing when you get to your parking lot, it takes 15 minutes to get from your parking space to your computer, and you're expected to you're considered late.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's also kind of crazy because you want that extra 15 minutes, you need to leave your house 15 minutes.
Yeah, we've had this conversation before where there's no consideration done as far. I'm not saying you should be paid while you drive on your commute.
Right.
I am saying that there should be consideration for things like that. But when there's no consideration, zero consideration done for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we're going to start quiet quitting.
When do you differentiate quiet quitting and a lazy worker?
I would say when they're not doing their expected numbers. So if you have like performance reviews, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, these people are average, these people are high, these people are low. Obviously, the people who are low aren't doing their job. The people who are high are the ones who are looking for more.
Yeah.
And the ones who are in the middle, leave them alone.
They're quiet. The middle is
leave
quiet quitting.
Yeah.
The loud ones are overachievers.
You should do more. Why? Because it'll give you a bonus. You should do more on this. Why? Because it'll make your job easier. You should come to do. Why? Because I'm good where I'm at. You hired me to do this.
But do you think, like, again, playing haters advocate, do you think that is them subtly trying to push you so that you get a higher position? Because that's also hard.
If the position is there. Now, see, here's the thing. If the position is there, I think that there is a smart way to quiet quit, and there's a dumb way.
What's the dumb way?
A dumb way to quiet quit, and if this is you, this is you. But there's some people who just want to go to work for 40 hours and come home and play PlayStation. Yeah. And that makes them happy. And they're fulfilling something to society by doing their 40 hours. Whatever if that's them, if that's you, fine, do that. You know what? PlayStation needs money. The really smart way to quiet quit, though, is just put in your 40 hours, and then everything else in the week, do that with whatever you want to do. Like us, we're doing this podcast. Yes. And let me tell you, I'm not going to do no overtime if we're scheduled to record.
I don't have a choice in my schedule, but
But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
There's a good way to do it. There's a productive way to do it.
Yes, I think that's the right word.
Like, if you're going to quiet quit, and you're going to tell yourself, you know what, I'm only going to dedicate 40 hours to this job because I'm not happy with it, but I still need to pay my bills. Yeah, you gotta pay bills. I get that. And all I'm saying is, with the other 60, 70 hours a week that you get, depending how much you sleep, I don't know how much you sleep, but whatever that extra time that you decided, I'm not going to do any work in this time, do something that makes you happy.
Yeah, I think quiet quitting is just really about finding balance and not burning out and just finding the little tiny bit of sunshine and joy in life.
I mean, we're in a time period right now where we don't know if we're supposed to become really, really successful or if we're just supposed to do something that makes us happy. And I think quiet quitting is a sign of people, the ones who are quiet quitting are at that fork. Am I going to do something, like, I'm dedicating too much time to this. Am I going to do something that makes me happy, or am I going to keep trying to make money? And it's up to you which one you want to do.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of.
But I'm going to quiet quit.
I think there's a lot of mixed messages too. Like you could quiet quit in your mind, but then once you jump on social media, once you're around your friends, once you're around a group of people who may be like on it all the time, constantly hustling, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you. Like you're not doing enough. There's definitely been times where I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like, why am I not doing this? Why am I not getting that? And you kind of have to take a step back and just go, well, how have you been working? What is the vibe you're throwing out? I mean, even with the podcast, there's been tons of times we're looking at our social media like, we lost 2 followers and it took us so long to get there. And then we see other people just starting, and we're like, well, how the fuck did they get so many followers? But we're not doing this 24/7. Like Manny said, like, we're doing this after working our 40 hours or whatever. And this is like us being productive with the time that we want to do. But there's definitely mixed messages out there about what
I think
is successful.
I think it's also like a sign of the generation and the age we're in, because we're definitely part of. What are we, millennials? We're like at the end of millennials, right? Or the beginning of millennials.
We're like middle millennials.
All right. I just think the people who are in their 30s and 20s right now have definitely grew up seeing seeing their parents hustle and not around.
Oh, yeah.
And
we talk about that.
Yeah, so we've grown up and we're like, no, you know what? I need to dedicate a certain amount of time of my day and my week to doing something that keeps my mental focused. Yeah. That keeps me sane. Yeah. And if that's like I said, if that's playing PlayStation for a couple hours a night because you've put in your 40 hours a week, that's fine. If that's taking a hike and so you're not going to come into overtime because you decided this day, I'm going to go and take a hike, or I'm going to go fishing, or I'm going to go to my son's play, whatever it is, I'm all for it. I say I'm all for it. Because if they want you to stay longer, it's not about overtime. Overtime is because you're making me stay longer. If you want me to do more at the job, let's be honest. The people at the top need to cut their paycheck a little.
Dang,
but I mean, I'm gonna get canceled for that.
Well, be a quiet quitter, not a quiet fighter.
Don't be a quiet fighter.
That's bad. That's just bad.
That's not how
bullying.
That's not how you keep happy employees.
No, I'm not gonna quiet quit this show.
No.
I want you to feel like I want you to know that.
I'm not either.
Guys, and we hope you don't quiet quit us.
Look, if you're quiet quitting at work,
listen to our podcast.
Make sure you I know, right? Do something that makes you happy during that other time.
Anyway, guys, it's always...
And if you're a manager listening who has employees quiet quitting, look at yourself.
Ooh, look at the man in the mirror. Guys, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
It is.
But we gotta go now. I know you know. You can find us on, you ready? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Bubble Bath Stories. And if you want to know what I'm up to, you can find me at Nicky Trendz on IG.
You can find me at Got No Time For This.
And if you want to join the conversation in style, please go to our website for official merchandise, bubblebathstories.co. Until next time, guys.